Welcome, guys, to another TTFL Friday League racing. We are at Singapore. I'm just having a little look at the time trial times, and as we can see, we've got Freedom sitting there with 1:34.3. I do wonder whether he can actually match that speed. We've got Sing on a 1:35.0, LH 1:35.4, Speedy 1:35.8, Matty 1:35.8. So James Al there as well. People who might know Formula Jonah over on the American side of esports, quite a big name in esports. He's on a 1:35.9. Moylan 1:36.2. So little Lewis Williams on a 1:36.2. Cons 1:36.3. So Cons is actually in that kind of group where you expect him to be in tier 1. Nilma 1:36.7. Hobo 1:36.7. So these are names that we should be expecting to see. 1:37.6 or 1:37.6 for both Kyra and Eva. So that's tier 2 and tier 3 all blending in here. Absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do is just going to have a quick run through the lap, really, just to show you what to expect on circuit and where we could find out. So obviously it is a quick last couple of corners. Obviously I'm not going to be going full pelt because you will be seeing. So here we go, the first few corners. So really, I'm slowing my down because this is where track limits will be exploited here. Get yourself right over this curve because and then use the full width of the track to get the maximum out of the first few turns. On turn 4 here. Again, it's a near enough 90-degree turn. Use as much traction as you can. Clip that inside. So you want to get right over those curves. You want to use as much as you can. So as you can see, right as close to the curves you can, over the white line there. And I say again on the outside, because when you get down to the bottom here, down to the single ball sling, this is all about pinpoint accuracy. You will see that, yeah, I took that corner a little bit wider coming on the exit because I clipped the wall. See, this corner here is probably one of the slowest corners of the full thing. You do want to hug that inside line as much as you can because it gives you the maximum rotation and you can push through and out. And then you come back and heading into the Esplanade area. The Esplanade area is the ones with the right, left, left, right. So you go right, left. And left, right again. And then right, left. And heading back home. So we are expecting quite a lot from the drivers. I did squash on the brakes a bit too much there. But as you should know, that all drivers here are expected to really be pushing harder and harder each time they go around. Use as much track as you can on this circuit. It's not like Monaco where you have to be over cautious on corners. You have got a bit of leeway because of these curves that come right out into the circuit. It's not like Baku where some of the corners are hyper quick. Get your rotation right up at that. See that corner there? I missed the apex so bad. You lose a lot of time missing the apex. So I got 140 there, and I know I missed quite a lot of those corners, mainly because I'm not looking for opportunities. I could easily trim 3, maybe 4 seconds off there, and so it's not a hard circuit to get to grasp with. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open up into the lobby and we'll have a look what's going on in there. So as I'm switching over, people out there will know exactly what it's all about being at Singapore. It is a street circuit. It is the first circuit it's driven at night. It wasn't actually because of the heat, which most people think of. It's actually because the facilities around the circuit itself supported nighttime racing more than daytime racing. It was one of those anomalies where they really did not want to do it. They really didn't want to put a nighttime race in the calendar, but everything was pointing towards doing it. So, got a few people in the chat. So we've got Sean saying hi, mate. Got Izzy. Hi, Izzy. Thanks for joining us. So there's like a big salty water with the one and only DXT Ferret. That is myself. So you got like Freedom saying me and non-human 1-2. So that'll be the McClay Bros 1-2. Will be fantastic to see. And then we got Izzy. Yeah, Izzy was in that on that list. She was on the list of the drivers that we went through on the time trials. And then we've got. You just cut absolutely everything here and hope you don't die. Like basically, yeah. As long as you've got 2 wheels on the track, you pretty much can cut most corners. And Freedom also goes, night races are just a better experience to watch for some reason. Well, yeah, because like Bahrain, with Bahrain, the lights and that just amplifies the cars rather than the circuit. It worked really well for visually. I wouldn't say it's like you got Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, Singapore. The daytime racing is pretty blind on lights, and you don't get complimented for the circuit. Also, with high skyscrapers around Singapore, there was a lot of shadows casted over the circuit. So it was like you're hitting light and dark in the track. So nighttime racing was ideal in those circumstances. So it's like, isn't this the longest race of the season since it's a long lap and lots of laps? So it is 31 laps, which in a full-time racing that would equate to 62 laps. It's not as long as the laps such as Monaco or Hungary. But it does have more laps than others, and I think it's actually down to the fact that it's a stop-start race kind of thing, because there's a lot of sharp corners. You're slowing down a lot, even though you can get a bit of speed out of it. You are slowing down quite a bit. Now you're looking at 140 laps on average, really, throughout the race, which is like it is like 30 seconds longer than what you would put on let's say Austria. But then you are racing pretty much a similar amount of laps. It's all down. It is a long lap really because you're slowing down, but it's not long as in distance wise really. Because let's flick up to the drivers anyway, because we have got a few drivers we're waiting for. See the Singapore circuit. It was made by Herman Tilke. He's one of his track architects. I quite like his early work, but don't like his later work. So it's 3.1 miles, which is twice the length of Monaco, roughly. Monaco is about short of 2 miles, so it's almost as longer than twice as long as that. Yeah, you're looking at it's quite a significant circuit, really, when it comes down to times for laps, and it is one of those, like I said before, it's one of those ways, because you're slowing down to get around those corners, it chunks up those times. Your long straights followed by sharp corners makes it tough to race. It's the same as Baku. Baku's a long straight with sharp corners, and it makes it harder for you to actually get a proper flow going. We've got Wild Gamer jumping in going, hi guys. So hi Wild Gamer, thanks very much for joining us. So the track itself, it's 23 corners, so it sounds loads, but then you've got to think that's Memorial Straight with that kink in it is a corner, same as heading towards the Esplanade. That has also got a kink in it, which is classed as a corner. The Singapore Sling is actually made of 3 corners, and it only looks like 2. So you've got a few corners there, and then turns 22 and 23 kind of flow onto each other. So we are starting into Q1. So Q1, we'll have all drivers trying out for Q1. The top 15 will go through unless they crash out. We'll do another lap rundown with others. So we've got Bingram saying, hello lad, how you doing? I'm good, Bingram man. Thanks very much for joining the stream. I hope you have a good time. And we'll go through some of the race drivers again. Some of the drivers up. We'll give you a little bit of update on how they are. Also, we're going to say hello to Dixie Hobo and his son and Lexi. Hopefully she's watching. Yeah, the next generation of DXT is already pretty much out there, with Nevo's little one also. Pretty much the first in the next generation. So here we go. We are into Q1. Again, a long lap. So we should be expecting people on soft tyres for Q1. Full track map, because we do want to see every single lap data. We're on telemetry. You will actually see that people will break more than what they would do on other circuits because of those walls. People are scared to run as wide as they can, and I do believe that might be an Alfa Romeo's head out, and it usually will be Singh. But it's not. We've got Lewis Topeka, who usually is one of the first ones out. So we'll stick on board with Lewis Topeka for a while. So Bingram has just let us know he's racing in Tier 2. So best of luck for the race today, Bingram. Let us know how you do. Be quite interesting to see how you get on. So Lewis will be out on the outlap. So as he's doing that, let's run down the drivers who we've got. So we've got DXT Nevo in the Aston Martin. Nevo is one of those drivers that I'm expecting to see more from him. Technically classed as he was classed as reserve for a moment, and then I do believe he's now fully into it. We've got Freedom, top of the leaderboard in my friends list. Expecting a similar performance from him today. Frenzy, again another driver that he doesn't qualify, Frenzy, but there we go, retired from the session as we are speaking. Dixie Matty, a teammate with Nevo. No, he's not. Sorry, he's I believe he's teammate with Non-Human. So it's a strong team, the Dixie Matty Non-Human team. Scotty Harris, I get a driver that should be pushing for more podiums. Hobo, let's see whether Hobo's when Hobo becoming a dad, has actually pushed him to have a bit of a better performance. So we've got Rob Sim Racer in the Mercedes. Great to see Rob Sim Racer with the DXC team. And hopefully we'll see more of a performance from him. I'm expecting more from DXC Moyland than what it was showing on the time trial information. So yeah, Moyland, get your act together. Scarenzi, as we have seen significant pace from Scarenzi. Hopefully Scarenzi's partner Elizabeth may be able to join us again. But yeah, Scarenzi, a driver that was unfortunate. He got some vehicle damage in Monza due to a collision between himself and Lewis Sabika, which ended up totaling Lewis Sabika's race as well. And what that did then is Scarenzi was like, oh, you know, I'm not competitive anymore, and he bowed out correctly. So that is the thing that he did. He went into the pits and retired in the pits, which is unfortunate because I did want to see him race. I do want to see more from him, but these things happen, and he thought he wouldn't enjoy the race, or he would not be as competitive, or he could be a danger to other people. So he bowed out the right way. SFR Martin. Okay, so this driver is on my radar right now. He's a little bit unorthodox, as Lewis Sabika 6:1:36.7. So it is hitting the times that we should be expecting to start with. I'm expecting it to drop by 2 seconds throughout the whole of qualifying. So SFR Martin, I want to see how he drives. I want to see how he takes on Singapore. As Scotty Harris plus 1:37.9 and Nevo 1:39.5, which I know Nevo can do a lot better than that. Nilmer, this driver, oh my goodness, jump on board him and he loses it at the Singapore Sling. Such an easy place to lose it as well. Oh, sorry, Wild Gamer man. I'm really sorry about that. So yeah, Dutchie McDutchface, my favourite name, and second driver I've jumped on board with that spun it as I jumped on board them. So here we go. So we've got Shaunicus. Shaunicus has been interrupted by the stranded Nilmer car, but hopefully that doesn't stop him from getting into Q2. Well, that was a good lap as well. Yeah, you just dropped it on this Singapore Sling. It's such an easy corner to drop it as well. So with the XT Sling, a driver that I'm rooting for, I want to see him winning more races. I want to see him up there. Dark Inferno, a driver that I believe there should be more from him. Shaunicus 6:1:37.7. So these drivers are still pretty close, but I'm going to be expecting time to be chucked off them shortly. So non-human is invalidated his lap. So let's see how he does. Let's stay on board non-human. So here we go. So we're going into the shears, round turn 3, turn 4 here, heading down into turn 5, swinging around this corner here. This is where we expect the DRS to be opened up fully, using this. Prepare yourself around turn 6 here. Keep to the right. You want to head out as we head into Memorial Corner. Swing left, using as much curve as you can. Hold on to left, right, there. Pull round. Cut the apex. These apexes around this corner majority are perfect. You need to hit the perfect apex, which is directly in the middle, so it's quite even. And he's invalidated his lap again before the Singapore Sling. So when he got found padding, it invalidated. Whether that was, I couldn't see why he invalidated, but the game tells him invalidated. He's invalidated. see, there's a little bit of lift off there from Singh, and I know he could have done better than that. So Singh with a 136.2, but we know he can do much better. It looks like, by the way it's going, it might be enough, but we want to see better. We are missing a couple of races today, so we're on board with Herbo. See, that's quite a nice line through Shears, all the way through. Needs to be more left before heading into turn 5 as we go down Memorial Straight now. Let's see how he goes at Cradles. Nicely done. He wants to stay right into Memorial Corner. Very nicely done. You don't want to hit that curve. For some reason that curve is not very nice to hit. Close enough to the apex to make an effective exit. And nicely through padding, now hitting to the Singapore sling. Let's take that away because it very close to that wall indeed, but very nicely done. Missed that apex massively. That is 3/10 of a second. Missing that apex is 3/10 of a second. So we'll see what time he gets, and then we'll take off 3/10 because so far, until those last two corners, he's done really well. So straddling these curves very nicely into the Esplanade. So back onto the bleachers. Spin it around. He missed that apex again, another 2/10. The shots of curves are not really forgiven. You want to stay off the curves on it. So he's got a 137.4. We'll take off. If we take off the 5/10 that I think he could have saved on that lap, it'd be 136.9. He would be sitting in P5 where Freedom is at the moment. But we know, I'm sure Herbert can take more time off. Non-human at the moment on a 136.3. Sting is retired from the session. So he's jumped into the pit and retired from the session. There's a very, very nice view. Scorenzi with a 135.7, exactly the type of layer laps that we're kind of expecting. That is where that's where we're heading, guys. That's exactly the laps that we want. We want a 135. We may get into 134 under these conditions, but I'm not expecting much from that really. So, guys, I'm going to give an update because we've got 3 rounds left to go. So, let's have a look at how close these battles are right now. So, after round 21 at Monza, we've got Non-Human in first place with 234 points. In second, we've got DXT Singh on 233. In third, we've got DXT Moyland on 220. These 3 drivers are very close indeed. And then we've got Frenzy in fourth with 179. So, Frenzy is not actually out of it. I wouldn't class him as out anyway. But absolutely fantastic right now from Frenzy. See if we can get in there. We've got DXT Matty, who's on 136. We've got Shonikers on 132. We have Lewis Speaker on 97, Dutchman Dutchface on 90. We've got DXT Anthony on 85 and 9th and 10th. We've got Speedy, aka DXT Sausage, is here with 71 points. 11th, we've got Hobo with 64. RRL LH 44 on 45 points, and he's only raced 4 races. That is actually a good start. Times up by 5, and he will be sitting up there nice and pretty at the top of the table. Got Freedom in 13th with 44 points. We have Scotty Harris on 37 points, SFR Martin on 35, Flea on 34, Dixie on 16, Nevo on 2. And still yet to score points, we've got Dark Inferno and Sean Larry, both of them having 2 races. Oh, sorry, both of them having a race each. Onto the team standings, dead quick. We've got AlphaTauri stomping ahead with 362 points, followed by Alfa Romeo on 297, with Mercedes just behind on 291. We have Williams on 264, McLaren on 222, Aston Martin a little bit further down with 156. We have Haas on 113, Red Bull on 103, Ferrari on 99, and Alpine on 67. So, quite a few of these races. I'm just having a little look. We've actually got to work out these numbers. Because we're saying we have so we are coming up to the end of Q1. Just watching Freedom at the moment. Let's see if Freedom can actually bring any more time off that and see if he can get any higher. But then, everybody is pretty much safe to go through. So we're waiting for Dutchy and Dutch we are only waiting for Scarenzi to go give a fast lap. I don't think anybody else is going to be having any more fast laps. We have Freedom out on his fast lap currently as he heads around the last few corners. The 2 Aston Martin drivers are heading around the final corners. I think that's Neva heading into the pits. As Scarenzi starts his flying lap, as we follow up with Freedom and see how he does, and he's heading straight into the pits. So with this pit entry in Singapore, it is quite easy to invalidate. You're allowed with that pit to cross the line. If you go in too hot and you cross that line, you're going to end up picking up a penalty. So it's something that we do not want any of you guys to be doing. So be careful when you are going into that pit. Just go right down, get yourself around. So guys, if you got anything to ask, just throw in the questions. Any questions you want. Could be F1 related. It could be personal, it could be just random. Don't be afraid. Let us know what you're thinking as well. Who do you think's going to be getting pole in qualifying, and who do you think's going to get the win at the end? Right now, it's quite tough to say, but I've got a keen eye on Scorenzi at the moment. DXT Sting and Non-Human. I'm expecting Moylan to also get himself up there. And see how close that was for Scorenzi actually going off out of the pit lane. And that is it. We are at end of Q1. And that is the end of Q1. We're going to be saying goodbye to just a couple of drivers, which is namely Robson Racer, Frenzy, DXT Nilma, and Dark Inferno. So into Q2. Alright, so favourite colour? I'd say blue, it would be my favourite colour, because I do wear a lot of blue and black. So yeah, I'll go blue. If you had to wait for one F1 team, what team would it be? I think it'd be McLaren. I do like McLaren more than others, but then I'd love to experience the whole Ferrari passion, which is quite rare because I don't like Ferrari as a racing team. But then I don't like. Well, Red Bull's become now what I didn't like in Ferrari when I was growing up. So I kind of gone lenient towards Ferrari and become more of a not liking Red Bull at the moment. So yeah, I'll go with McLaren as number 1, number 2 Ferrari. But that's a good question, though. A very good question. Plus, I think I'll look good in orange. So Lewis the Beaker is our first driver out again. On basically the guy who comes up with all the questions. Absolutely hoping that we're going to have some flying laps from our drivers today. So let's have a little look. The tyre strategy. So a lot of drivers going for medium tyres, and that is what I expect people to do. I'm not expecting a lot of incidents around Singapore. Drivers tend to be a bit more cautious, especially starting off around Singapore. So it's one of those circuits I'm not expecting many, if any, DNFs. But this is where you guys prove me wrong and throw it into every wall possible. This was the circuit that I seen the biggest glitch in the world, where someone did a sub 1 minute lap somehow. Not possible. It is physically not possible to do a sub minute lap around Singapore. Absolutely impossible. But yeah, there is one of my streams that actually shows someone, and I think it was either DXT Matty or Matty Green, that got a sub-minute lap. Green said, "I'd rather go out here than start on softs." You know, I think there's going to be quite a few people who kind of agree on that situation. So we do have Hobo out and about. Non-human as well. Non-human putting a purple sector 2. So it could be saying a good lap from him on his being time. Lewis Beaker with 136.8, sticks himself on P1 at the moment. Oh, everyone's hit the wall, but he's not got any visual damage, so that could just be a little knock. Non-human with 136.1, so we are getting these, even on the softs, even on the mediums, non-humans put a really stellar time. It was a bit quicker than what he was on those soft tyres earlier. We can take off 0.7 of a second for those medium tyres. So you're looking at a 135.4 for non-human for net speed. Freedom fell out the server, so hopefully he'll be back before the end. As DXT Anthony has retired. I think he actually retired in the pits. So Dutch Face for 141.4, and I know he can do a lot quicker than that. Hobo 139.1 should be over quicker. Sing on a 136.9, a nice time there by Sing, but I know again he can be quicker. A 1,000 quicker is Shaunicus. SFR Martin on 136.4. It's actually a fairly decent lap. We do have a yellow sector, and I think that is just Scarenzi getting out. No, it wasn't Scarenzi. I think it was actually his teammate Nevo. No, I was sorry, I'm behind his butt. The non-human was actually just getting out of the way for his faster driver. If you had to pick one non-F1 celebrity to meet, who would it be? Can be dead or alive. That is a really tough question. Based off Salty Seawater, which is Lewis the Beaker, said my time is on mediums, just that stupid glitch where it says he's on softs. So this time here, guys, I've put 136.8 is on mediums, so good time. Even on softs, that is actually a fair time, but even better on mediums. Back to big Wild Gamers question about celebrity, right? I'd love to meet Freddie Mercury. Yeah, that would, I don't know. It's really tough. It really is tough. That is so tough. Or Ewan McGregor. I think he's a fantastic guy. I'm bored of Dutch Race who's invalidated his lap. Let's have a look at anybody else. Nice. Scarenzi. Let's put Scarenzi on the big screen. What was the most entertaining F1 season for you? Straight away, easy one. 2009 with Braun. It was the season I really got into F1. It had the perfect fairy tale Cinderella story. Absolutely amazing. For anybody who is quite young and doesn't remember 2009 season, this is when Honda pulled out for the first time. They had a car set up that was going to be competitive in all natures of aerodynamics, but financial circumstances in Japan made it financially unviable for them to actually partake in any international sporting motion, so they cut everything apart from national Japanese racing. So then they sold their whole team to Ross Brawn for £1. Ross Brawn made a deal with Mercedes for an engine, bodged the engine into the car. Engineers worked tirelessly, everybody took a huge pay cut, and then, yeah, on paper they said they were like, oh, so they've got a good car. When they went to testing, first testing, Brawn wasn't there, it wasn't ready, everybody thought it wasn't going to be ready for the start of the season, and they were questioning why did all their own personal data say that their car was 2 seconds quicker. They went to second testing in Barcelona, car made head and shoulders times. Jensen Button wasn't happy with the car, saying that it didn't feel right, but everybody was like, oh, well, you've got 1.6 seconds over everybody else. And then, there's Grenzer coming into the pits, almost going over that line. Careful that line, ladies and gents, you've got to be really careful. Yeah, and then they fiddled the car a little bit, and he ended up taking 2 seconds over everybody. And that's when everybody, absolutely everybody, this is Red Bull. It was Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, the lot started pointing fingers at the car, asking questions. What about this? What about the double diffuser? But then they tried to do it themselves and they just couldn't get the same results. And that's why the questions come out. How can they do something different and get better and get away with it because it doesn't work for them? It's got to be illegal. If it doesn't work for them, it can't work. If it doesn't work for us, it shouldn't work for them. That's why it should be illegal. That's the question. The things that the F1 teams tend to come up with, which is why I don't agree with Red Bull. But yeah, 2009, my favourite season by far. That's Braden coming into the pits. We've got who else is out? We've got Moyland is out, and we've got Herbo. We'll stick with Herbo for a bit, even though I just think he actually just finished his fast lap. It's a quick rundown of the times. We've got 1:36.1 with Scorenzi, which is a really, really good time with non-human. They're just slightly a little bit slower, and then Freedom slightly slower again. Next is at 1:23. That's so close. SFR Martin, a good time on the soft tyres. Lose the beaker on medium tyres, even though showing softs. We've got Sobicus on the mediums with 1:36.9, Singh 1:36.9, so 1,000 between those two drivers. Moylan at 1:36.9, Herbert 1:37.7. I know he can do quicker than that as well. Nevo with a 1:38.9, again another driver I believe can be quicker. And Dutchman Dutch Race 1:40.14, again should be a lot quicker than that. Scotty Harris still hasn't put a time in yet. Questions just come up. Should Monaco be removed from the car there? Personally, I think it should. That is Big Salty Seawater's question again. Okay, straight up, no. Monaco should not be removed from the calendar, but it shouldn't be a classified race. It should be a duel of the calendar, not a duel of the championship. Removing Monaco from F1 would actually bankrupt the FIA. Monaco on its own actually supplies a huge amount of income for the FIA and F1 in general. it would actually hamper the country itself as well. Now, Monaco is a tax haven for a lot of people, but the reason why they get that tax haven is because you go there and you spend a lot of money as a tourist. Only tourists can gamble in the casinos. Neva's invalidated his lap, and he's invalidated the second lap, so he's going to have to come in and change his tyres and get himself back out again. I don't think it's a competitive race. I think it's whoever can stick and pole should win it. Obviously, it is all down to the pit strategy, really. Was it entertaining? No, it never really is. But it is the oldest F1 race on the calendar. When I say the oldest, there's been a race in Monaco at a peak level since 1929, so almost 100 years. The only other race circuit at the moment that has actually got the same kind of historic value is Silverstone. So, no, it shouldn't. We are rounding off Q2 now, and it looks like we're going to be saying goodbye to Hobo, Nevo, Matty, and Anthony. 4 DXD boys going out by the looks of it. It's a very nice time there for a lot of people. I'll be honest, that is one of the best questions I've actually been asked for a while. Should Monaco be removed from the calendar? It is a question that everybody's going to have a different opinion, but my opinion is I don't think it should be part of the championship. I don't think it adds any value to the championship at all. But it's one of those spectacles that can't be removed. It's too much of a big thing to be to be gone. But then we've lost bigger races, bigger circuits really than Monaco, such as Hockenheim. Nordschleife, we've lost that. Oh, big thought. You see what comes out? Star Wars, Harry Potter, or Star Trek? Right, straight away, Star Wars. Wild Gamer, do you think Fernando Alonso will win another race? No, I don't think he will. If you actually watch Fernando Alonso racing, you will see a big significant thing. I'll get into that point in a moment. So I'll just quick run down. So right now we're going to be saying about the Hobo, Nevo, Dixie Martin, Dixie Anthony, the last two not putting in a time lap. Hobo's only out by 1/10. Well, not even that. It's 3 hundredths, really. A very nice time by Screnzi. The only people on the soft tyres are SFR Martin and Dutch Face. So Alonso won't win another F1 race, because if you actually look at his average lap times for races, they gradually get slower as the race progresses. So they start off, he'll get quicker and quicker and quicker, and then he'll start to drop off. That's because his body starts to strain more. That he's got past the same as Sebastian Vettel's in the same boat, and Lewis Hamilton's in the same boat. Lewis Hamilton was only was able to do so well because his car in the previous generation was stronger than everybody else's. So, yeah, I don't think Fernando Alonso will ever win another race. Sean says, do you think Lando Norris will ever be a champion? I'm going to say yes. I have a strong feeling he will be a champion. But that's just pretty much down to whether there's going to be any significant changes to the cars, which regulations over the next couple of years. Because even though he has got to that car better than Daniel Ricciardo, he is still not anywhere near the likes of Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen when it comes down to race pace. So we've got Elizabeth in the chat again. Hello again. Hello, Elizabeth. Thank you very much for joining us. I see your the love of your life, Scorenzi, has been absolutely phenomenal in qualifying already. So yeah, my answer for Shonika is yes, I do think he will be. It's just going to be a matter of time. With obviously things, whether the car gets better and better or whether he changes team. But again, do you think McLaren will drop Daniel Ricciardo? Yes. Yes, they will. Daniel Ricciardo is not taken to the McLaren car. I think the older drivers are taking more. It takes longer for them to adjust to the newer cars. So teams want younger drivers who are able to adjust to the cars quickly. Now, Bottas has done great with the car, and so has K-Mag, and they are seasoned veterans of the sport, but not as much as Vettel, Hamilton, Alonso, and Ricciardo. But yeah. So Bingo, I just got the quickest in Tier 2 by 2 seconds on mediums in Q2. Well, that's what that says to us as Bingham is that you should be in Tier 1. Elizabeth Salland says it's so sad because my favourite driver is Ricciardo. It is sad, but F1 with the new regulations, younger drivers tend to adjust better than the newer drivers do, and Ricciardo's just not. I think Ricciardo is the kind of character that we need to see in and around F1. He's a Jack the Lad kind of guy. He brings a lot of character, and that's Lewis Baker with a 136 too. But he could be a lot quicker with those soft tyres. Should be a lot quicker. I love Cherise. I love the Cherise. I think the Cherise is amazing. And Moylan sticks a 136.0, a very nice time indeed. And I do hope he takes a bit more time off, because Non-Human, Scorenzi, and Freedom are all in and about. Non-Human with 136.7. I don't think. I think he's let go a little bit there. Like Freedom with 135.4. This is the times that we are expecting to see. Scorenzi. Can Scorenzi cause a bit of an upset for Freedom? Right, through the Esplanade, through the bleachers, as we now head to the home corners. Sailing round. He puts himself with 135.759, just exactly 3 times behind, and Sting with 135.6. So, like I said, these are the times that we should be expecting Shawnicus. Let's see how Shawnicus does. Puts himself with 136.1, and it is a reasonable time. I do believe he can take a bit more time off that. The cons, Freedom Non-Human will get 34.5 in his opinion, and too right they should as well. Cons absolutely should. I think a lot of these drivers can and should be getting 134s. So we're on board with freedom now, and he's backed off. He was on actually on for a really good pace as well at that point. And he's ready to go again. Let's stick on board with freedom. Let's see how he does. So he took a bit too much curb on the first corner, but it's made up for it with the remainders. That was a beautiful line through turn 5 there. Absolutely fantastic. As we go around, jumping around turn 6, getting ready for turn 7 at the Memorial corner. He's using as much track as he is willing to dare. And that was a very nice turn there. Absolutely beautiful. Into padding. Heading down to the Singapore Sling of St Andrew's Bridge. I may have hit that apex a bit too early. Absolutely fantastic effort, really, as it heads round. Oh, that corner straddles up curb all the way through. Here we go. May not have made it, but it's shown that he could do it. He could do it a lot. It took a lot of time for that, and an absolutely fantastic stellar effort, and very good to watch. Freedom's lap there. So we've got non-human. I do believe non-human at this very moment is not actually doing a fast lap, he's doing a lap. So it's all about gently getting out there, getting around with as intact as possible. We've got 3 minutes left of Q3. Let's do a lap on board with non-human are contender for that, so the championship lead. I say contender, he's actually sitting on top right now. As you can see, these drivers actually do have different lines going through some of these corners. Some of these straights. I use a lot of track there. As you've seen there, it uses less track width than Freedom did, but was a little bit smoother coming out of that corner. His line into the Singapore Sling is very, very different from Freedom's, but you get very similar results. Very nicely through this slow corner there as we head down. Now into the Esplanades. Absolutely fantastic. He's backed off quite a lot there. He's invalidated his lap, so he's just cut that corner a bit too much. He's going again. We haven't had much for the change. We've got to go into with a 135.7. Shonika's 136.1. So we should be seeing a lot more times from these guys. It's just dropping them off. As we are heading into the last moments now of the SFR Martin. He's got one lap shootout really. Now he must put it all on the line for this. The bridge with Dutch race crashed out. That is the end of Scorenzi put a 135.3. Absolutely fantastic. We've got Freedom, who's involved in Easy Lab. Let's go on to non-human. A 135.5. This is so close. He's improved his time, but not to the levels we're expecting. SFR Martin has kind of backed out. Elizabeth, my man can. Yeah, your man can actually race on this circuit. Absolutely fantastic. He's had a fantastic qualifying as Scorenzi. Q1, Q2, Q3 has been up there in mix. We're expecting a very good, strong performance from all of these drivers today. So that is the end of Q3. We will be starting the race in a few moments' time. Guys, this is the last opportunity for drivers to jump in and let us know what they're thinking, what they felt about that circuit. Because I'm just looking at those numbers. We're gonna be in for a good race. So Scorenzi does take pole position with a 135.3. Freedom very close with a 135.4, and Sting and non-human both on 135.5s. We have Schonikas just slightly behind with 135.8, and then Lewis the on 135.9. Moyland on 136 dead. We have Scotty Howard on 136.3. We have Dutch McDuffie on 136.9, and then SFR Martin, who backed off quite a bit at the end with a 148. 148.1, and that's not a time that we expect from SFR Martin. We do know he can and would have put in a competitive lap. You mind switching off your man's internet? Elizabeth, never! Oh, pre-race banter. Pre-race banter. So guys, yeah, just Bingham's go, hey, I got pole. He got pole. Well, that's a great effort there, Bingham. Hopefully we see it in Tier 1 at some point. So, on board for the formation lap, we have 31 laps around this absolutely amazing circuit. So you. About 2 seconds. What was the time you got, Bingo? What was your time? Let's see how far up you would have got with the tier 1. Eight, 5, 7. So he would have been up there with it would have been up in 5th in tier 1. That's a very good time. So guys, here's a little fact for you. In every single Singapore Grand Prix here at Marina Bay, there has been a safety car deployment. There has in 12 years there was 21 safety cars out around Singapore. Most notably, everybody remembers Crashgate, but we won't go into that. But that's a little fact. So Singapore will be on the calendar right up until 2028, so it's still there for us all. So we're gonna be setting up ready. That's a fantastic view. I'll be waiting for the cars to set ready. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go. So we're just dropping back, as you can see, this is it's such an easy, there's a few bit knocking around there between drivers. It's so easy to actually have a bit of an accident. But look at that, all drivers safely through. When I say safely through, I mean we haven't got a DNF, but we do have, is that wing damage? There's a big chunk of wing missing from DXT Anthony's car. So that is at the moment fantastic. So we're going to position change. That is what we want to see. So at the moment we've got Freedom who's gone in first. Scovency's down in second. The battle for the first corner is all heavily leaning towards the inside driver because it is Freedom's fun. Oh, that'll be a safety car. Wow. Right. Okay. So there is some penalties to come. So safety car is out. So as you've seen, Freedom's fun in the Singapore sling. We've seen that happen before, and it was collected by non-human. Moyland getting a penalty for ignoring yellow flag. Lewis the Beaker getting a penalty for a collision. Those two collisions were unavoidable. It happened, and I'll be honest, it was a spectacular crash to see. Unlike Freedom to lose it the way he did, but these things happen, and we're going to see Lewis the Beaker and non-human dropping down while they get those repairs. And so Scovency, absolutely lightning quick reactions there to avoid the spin of Freedom. Absolutely mental what happened there. Unfortunately, Freedom, he had such a great start. Just all it takes is that one little drop, maybe put too much power on, oversteer, and he was just lost it. There was nothing. He was, as soon as that back wheel went, that was it. He was a passenger to his own spin. That was really unfortunate, but also on the same level, spectacular. Absolutely amazing. So safety cars out, guys. Drop us in those comments. Let us know who you think will win. At the moment, it is looking like it's going to be Scorenzi, Sings, Shonicus, the Triple S, top three. As you can see, there is a few drivers who's picked up knocks. So that is Non-Human, Moyland, Nevo, Matty, Lewis Speaker, and Dixie Anthony all have picked up knocks at some point in the first lap, all diving into the pits for renewal. Dark Inferno as well. I think Dark Inferno may have had to just backed up quite a lot. I know he's definitely out pitted, hasn't he? No, he hasn't. But he is on the hard tyres. So Frenzy, DXT, Robson Racer, and Dark Inferno all started on those hard tyres. A lot of drivers have opted for the hard tyres. It is a hard medium tyre strategy really around here, but these drivers are starting on the hard could end up finishing on the softs. Dark Inferno has actually dropped out of his he's dropped out of the server, which will explain his car dropping back significantly. Non-Human's just going to have to pounce when they restart. And who's that gone into the pits? Frenzy's dived into the pits. Oh, it's a little random fact as well. In the last 20 years, the downforce pressure of the cars, excluding the new generation, the downforce has always increased. To the point where the car's downforce pressure is more than the weight of the car. It works out that the pressure is roughly about 2.7 Gs. So that's 2.7 times the weight of the car, which is a weird little fact, really, for out there. But throughout history, the downforce of the vehicles has always improved significantly from each step, apart from when ground effect was removed from the cars. That's when the only time that you can actually see there was being a decrease in downforce for the cars. So the safety car is like ending in a slap. As I jump on board with the third driver. This is because you get a good view of the two cars in front and get to see when they go and whether how much gap is there. So it was a late call for that safety car going in. Doesn't give Currency a lot of time to prepare, but he's going, and there he is. He's gone, but Sting is right there with him. So Currency, yes, he was good, but not good enough to get rid of Shonicus. So they got the two McLarens in third and fourth, which is fantastic to see. Shonicus has got basically a nice little shield behind him in the shape of Dutchman Dutch Race, who is one of the best defenders in the league. He's one of the hardest car drivers to get past, even if the driver behind him is quicker. They just find it really tough to get past Dutchman Dutch Race. So Shonicus now in Farnwell, he's got his strong partner behind him, doing a lot of the hard work that he was focused. Now he can focus on trying to make the best of this Sting Scorenzi battle that could potentially happen in a few laps' time. I'll just show you down. So we've got to see a little battle between Dixie Anthony and Dark Inferno. I do believe Dark Inferno is still gone. So these are the drivers just getting past Dark Inferno's AI car. Ferenzi should be further up, but he's jumped in the pits, got himself some mid tyres, and now he's chasing after Nevo. Nevo is losing ground to Matty, who's losing ground from Moyland, a non-human. These two should actually work really well together to start working their way through. So they've managed to get themselves back into the point positions. This then will hopefully promote them a bit further on. They don't have to. They've completed the pit strategy technically when it says the requirements for the pit stops. So they don't have to worry about it. Scorsese takes the fastest lap of 140.1. We will be seeing that tumble down a bit more as time does go on. So going to be looking. Nilma is actually dropped out of DRS from, or he's got back in again from Hobo, looking to keep with SFR Martin. SFR Martin, a driver that's proven to be quick, just needs that little bit more to close down the Scotty Harris gap. Scotty Harris is behind McDuck race. Is he going to get past him? Do not know. So Elizabeth asked me a question: who is your favourite driver in F1? See, I like George Russell. Now, unlike what people want to portray about Lewis Hamilton, I said about Lewis Hamilton's dad worked 4 jobs to get to put him through karting. Well, his dad would still had good jobs, and he didn't work 4 jobs all at one time. He moved from job to job to job. So it was 4 different jobs at 4 different times, not 4 different jobs at the same time, which is what people try and portray as. George Russell actually was a guy who managed to strike it lucky and got himself a Karting Academy scholarship with Mercedes, and it was all by chance, really, not by money, which is why he's a Mercedes Academy driver, and he relies heavily on the Mercedes backing. So I like him because he's come from proper humble backgrounds, but then Oh! So another 5-second penalty for non-human for collision with Scotty Harris. This is not right again. This is the second time non-humans picked up that kind of penalty for crashing into a dead car, basically. So I've got to explain what I just seen there. I just seen a little mistake from Dutch Face, then progressed into a bit of contact between Dutch Face and Scotty Harris. Scotty Harris eating the wall and killing himself. Dutch Face, he has a significant damage. He will be tumbling down, which then leaves Sean Lucas in the firing line as Dark Inferno also dies out. Wow. Yeah, so Elizabeth here says, I like him too, don't like Hamilton at all. Now, everybody's got to bow down to the fact of what Lewis Hamilton is. He is statistically the best driver in F1 ever. But that's statistically. Now, people will say, oh, but I had the best car then, but so did all the other champions. They did have the best cars. I just don't like him as a person. I think he feeds too much about, I'm a minority I deserve more respect kind of thing, a pride on that. And yeah, he is the only black driver in F1, but he's not the only black guy to actually make something of himself. You got footballers out there who's making themselves and they don't protest like, oh, we need more equality rights. Yeah, it should happen, but we don't need that kind of politics in your face. Yeah, but he's so fake to me. It's an act. He's using F1 to promote his politics stance, which are Black Lives Matter. I completely I don't disagree with why they come out of it. I just disagree with how they come out of it. It's just sometimes you've got to find a nice balance. You've got to find a better way to break down the barriers, and Hamilton just doesn't do it well enough. But if you like a driver who on and off the circuit he's been good over time, but an absolute gentleman off, Sebastian Vettel. A driver off the circuit is a phenomenal guy. As a racer, I'm not too keen on him, but as a ambassador for the sport, you can't get anyone better. But then I've always got a soft spot for Lando Norris. I think Lando Norris is just amazing as a driver, and off the circuit he's a genuinely nice guy. So thank you very much for the input there, Elizabeth. I really do appreciate it. This safety cars can take forever, especially around Singapore. We've got a few drivers struggling behind to catch up. As soon as they catch up, the safety car will start going in. Let's have a little rundown of. So we've had quite a few position changes, and then it's all kind of like some of them go back. So Scorenzi's back in first place after the freedom crash. Stings in second with Stronicus in third. Non-Humans managed to get himself back into fourth, where he started the race. Now he has got a 5-second penalty, and he had a 5-second penalty before for crashing into a dead car, which is unfortunate and unlikely for it to be removed. Nilman up 12 places. Don't want to curse them. Moyland up 1 place after dropping down. Frenzy back up 9 places. So these drivers, SFR Martin and Hobo, are back to where they started. And Bob Sinmacer in 15th at the moment, but I'm sure he will start battling his way through. So yeah, Elizabeth is actually she agrees with what I just said about Hamilton. Fantastic. It's quite nice. I do like a nice little F1 driver debate. So Elizabeth, who's your favourite driver? Yeah, go on. Go on. Let's hear yours. Who is your all-time favourite driver? Favourite driver in the current F1 on the F1 grid. So, safety car is in on this lap. So, again, we're going to see Scorenzi push drivers back, bunch them up, wait for that safety car to go. So, I can actually see, honestly think that Stronicus might be in the firing line from non-human, but Stronicus has the medium tyres. Now, Singh is really waiting. Watch him. He's getting ready to go, and he's going. He didn't catch anything else. Singh actually seen that happening. As you can see, Singh is right up his tailpipe. Braked a little bit earlier than him because he didn't want to crash into the back of it. It would have caused another safety car. A little bit of a gap has started to open up, but that's only because Singh has been a bit cautious coming out of his corners, and Moyland, and So Nilma and non-human did connect. What I think it was is that Nilma was following Moylan through, and wheels touched, and Nilma's car ended up putting into the wall. There was no way that non-human could not have escaped any other way. Moylan loses the back wheel through the Singapore sling. It's got to be another safety car, isn't it? Yeah, there we go again. Another safety car. Moylan, tail happy, loses it in a Singapore sling. That Singapore sling really does take them out. So Elizabeth's favourite driver is Ricardo, as she really likes Sainz too. Now I quite like Sainz. I think Sainz is a fantastic driver, but we need to see more of his true character coming out. Ferrari tends to have a habit of not allowing drivers to have their own character. They've got to follow the Ferrari way, which is always stiff upper lip, a bit like being a British gentleman. Stiff upper lip, don't say anything that could hamper your career or the team. Bob said Mason clipping the back wheel there. He could have easily lost that. Right, so yeah, Speedy. The only driver I don't want to win the championship is Max. Now, did I want Max Verstappen to win the championship? No. Did I want Lewis Hamilton to win the championship? No. I think I would have said yes if he would have retired after winning it. But see, I want Lewis Hamilton to go, and he's not going to go unless he's either forced out or he's achieved what he wanted to achieve. And I think the quickest way to give him the championship and go bye. Thank you very much. But I can actually see him dropping out of the sport soon, with the cars not being to his styling. But I don't like Max Verstappen. I think Max Verstappen is being given too much too quick. I don't like arrogant drivers. That's why I don't like Michael Schumacher. I don't like Eddie Irvine either, because those drivers, or Felipe Massa, I don't like arrogant drivers. I really don't. Yeah, so if you get rid of them, it'd be great. Elizabeth, Max is a crybaby. Yes, he is. So we've had a few safety cars. What lap are we on? We're on lap 11. Not even a third of the way through. So 10 laps completed. We've got 21 to go. We've got 3 safety cars. It's going to be a long night, guys. It's going to be a very, very long night. One more laps. 8 stop taking to just short 2 minutes. So we're looking at another 40 minutes of racing. Right, so we started with 18 drivers. We're down to 12. Let's have a look at. So everybody apart from Shaunicus has stopped once. But here's what I was thinking like, with the stop deficit and some of these drivers stopping way too early, such as SFR Martin, Dixie Hobo, Dutch Race has dropped down a bit. Safety car is in this lap. I think Scarenzi and Sting are going to be leading the race at the end. Should there be no more safety cars. So we're going to watch with SFR Martin. Can Shaunicus catch up Frenzy? It's possible, but he is a bit close to that safety car. The gap is left. Shaunicus wasn't catching anybody out there. SFR Martin almost got caught out. He nearly went off early. Hobo is looking to get that move done on SFR Martin. Hobo doing really well up in fourth at the moment, but he's got Dutch Race probably behind him. He's almost lost the back end as Scarenzi is coming up onto the inside. A very quick move by Scarenzi. Scarenzi is squeezed through into fifth place. Scarenzi, what a move! He's made it clear he is taking it by storms. A fantastic restart by Scarenzi. He's managed to jump a few places already. He is up into fifth. Lewis the Beaker and Dutch Race having a little bit of a battle as Singh is looking for a mistake to happen as Scarenzi is focusing on what he can do to Hobo on this circuit, find out the nicest place to make the overtake. Hobo is watching SFR Martin through the Singapore sling. Every driver say, oh, a little bit slide there from Hobo, but not enough for Scarenzi to capitalise on. And Hobo, even though he didn't hit the apex, he covered that corner perfectly. Scarenzi is quicker, but there's not enough road for him to make that overtake happen. You can see those hot soft tyres are much quicker than Hobo's hards. Again, Scarenzi looking for the opportunity, but is not passing. This is actually going to be. This is probably the battle that we're going to be watching the most, because there is a battle behind with Lewis Speaker and Dutch Race, who are swapping places back and forth every now and then. But this is the one I want to see. This is the overtake I want to see happening soon. Scarenzi is going to go for the inside. He's alongside. He is alongside. Hobo does cut him a bit of a squeeze. Scarenzi does the right thing and slows right down. Hobo got a bit squirrely on the outside. Gives plenty of space for Scarenzi to go around the outside. That is great battling between those two drivers. Very clean indeed. Absolutely fantastic. Yes, there was a little bit of squeezing from both sides, but absolutely phenomenal racing between the two drivers, Scarenzi and Hobo. That there is exactly what we want to see at TTFL. That kind of driving. They're close, but not touching. Well done, Scarenzi. Well done, Hobo, on that. As Lewis the Beaker is now looking for the take on Hobo. Hobo seems like he's losing a little bit of pace to the drivers behind. But Non-Human and Singh side by side. Now that's a little bit of touching, but not enough to make any kind of mistake amplified. And Non-Human goes from one side to the other and dashes down the inside. Wouldn't call it a dive bomb, because it wasn't out of nowhere. The battle was in. This thing's struggling. So now Scarenzi's up behind SFR Martin. And Scarenzi is going to have to pit again. Those softs are not going to go all the way to the end. And that's exactly what we're going to be expecting. Shaunicus is opening up a bit of a gap to Frenzy. Frenzy is opening a huge gap to SFR Martin. Now, SFR Martin is just basically holding back Scarenzi right now. As Scarenzi gets past SFR Martin in the next lap, it's going to be a few laps before Scorenzi manages to catch up with the front running drivers. But you can see there's a massive pace difference between Scorenzi and Martin. Now that's normal, really. It is normal for drivers, the two cars, one was hard, one was soft, to have such a difference. But that was a bit more than just the difference the tyres will give. And as you can see, he's already brought it down by half a second in half a lap. I think that might have been a mistake on Frenzy's end and Shonicus's end, because both drivers are getting caught up by Scorenzi, who is now 1.5 seconds behind Frenzy, 2 seconds behind Shonicus. So that's tumbling down quite a bit from being 3 seconds behind down to 2 seconds. So it's just showing that Scorenzi's got a faster car than a lot of these other drivers with those soft tyres, with that setup he's got currently. Shonicus now leading the way, still needs to pit though. Those medium tyres will last a few more laps. I think he's pushing for a medium soft pit strategy, which means he's got to push these tyres to be probably lap 18. Are they going to do it? He can't do it. He's on lap 15 now. He's just short of halfway. It is possible for him to complete 18 laps on these tyres because they don't look like they're totally worn out. As you can see, there is a dark patch that's running roughly about 80% of the width of the tyre. You can see the last 20% is a little bit lighter. Obviously, for the people out there who is not really looking at tyres, where you've got to look is that if you look along the top edge of the tyre, you'll see that it's from the inside out. It's dark all the way up along 80%, and then you'll see it getting a bit fadey, greyish, light greyish colour at the end. That there is showing the fade line. Now, if that fade line gets more and more prominent, it means that this fade is significant enough that the tyre is hampered to start losing a lot of grip. Not falling off the cliff. Falling off the cliff is a significant line down the middle of the tyre. You see it more in slower speeds than you do when it's faster. So when he's slowing down for some of the corners, you might be able to see the line stand out a bit more. But you also see it clearer when it's on a straight than you do on a corner, because of the way the light angling works. So here we go. Scorenzi looking to get past Frenzy. Scorenzi makes that move happen very quickly indeed, and he's right behind Shonicus. Now, we do know Scorenzi does need to pit again, and it will be around lap 21, lap 22, when he does make that pit. The question I've got to ask is whether the drivers behind, are they going to pit again? And if they do, who's all pitting and what they're going to pit onto, or when they're going to pit. So Shonicus, we know, is going to pit in the next 5 laps. And I believe that Scorenzi will pit on lap 20 or on lap 22. Frenzy may follow suit. SFR Martin may not. He's on those hard tyres. Let's have a look at they're only 8 laps old. They can go all the way to the end. SFR Martin could technically win this race because those tyres are going to go pretty much go to the end. Non-human may have to pit again with those laps. Tyres they should be able to go to the end, but they'll be tough to work with. Mika, Singh and Hobo and DXT Anthony will get to the end on those tyres. I'm not too sure whether DXT Matic and Rob Mesa can get to the end, and Dutchman Dodge Race will get to the end on those tyres. So that's where we are with those tyres at the moment. We do know the top 3 drivers should be pitting again. As we're looking at Scorenzi, is Scorenzi going to make the move now? No, ups out for the move, stays right behind him. Picks up the DRS, trigger point here. There we go. Opens it up. Goes around the outside, and which then becomes the inside. And that's a fantastic move. A very good view of it as well we had there. And that's Scarenzi now into P1 with a fantastic few overtakes he's made throughout the whole race. Right now, just based on pure racecraft, Scarenzi will actually have my driver of the day. Just with what we've seen so far. So let's have a look, see if there's any more battles going on. So we've got Singh now who's closing in on Lewis the Beaker. Now Lewis the Beaker and Non-Human Influence have got penalties. But Bob Sembase there has crashed. It's a bit bizarre, and there's a safety car. Safety car, safety car, safety car. Now, is this the right opportunity for some of these drivers to pit? So we started off with 18 drivers, we're now down to 11. Right now we've got Scarenzi P1, Sholicus P2, Frenzy P3, SFL Martin P4, Non-Human P5, Lewis Speaker P6, Singh P7, DXT Anthony P8, Herbo P9, Martin P10, and P11 with Dutchman Dutch Race. There's Pit for Sonicus, Pit for Frenzy, SFL Martin. Go to take the lead. Non-humans in the pit. That was so close, I hope I'm screwing that up there. So what we've got now is SFR Martin taking the de facto lead. No one knows how we'll get them to the end. Here we go. This is actually quite interesting. So some of these drivers have actually put on 1 or 2 lap old tyres, because some of them never had spare mediums. They've opted for the mediums, thinking they're going to get to the end. Mediums. Shonicus and Scarenzi gone for the soft tyres. Can the soft tyres get to the end? It's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close indeed. Now, what SFR Martin's done is put himself on the firing line to every driver behind him, because every single one of those drivers is on better tyres than he is. The thing he's got to question is, will he get a significant restart that he can open up a gap and hold it? Or has he got the driving ability to hold everybody behind him? Because if he pitted, he would have still been in the top 3. He would just been on fresher tyres. Here's something for you as well. The safety car that we are seeing right now is actually driving the ideal game racing line. So as you can see, he's actually going on some curbs, but not a lot of them. So if Martin was actually closer, we'd be able to see a bit more from the safety car. As you can see, doesn't go over that curb, goes over this curb, which is a lower curb, kisses that curb, he rolls over that curb. He's actually using the lines as it should be. Following that safety car is actually really good to learn in the line. Elizabeth is like, nah, my man is going to get him. Well, to be honest, all things are pointing to Scorenzi winning this race. He's had some fantastic overtakes. Martin has just got to put up with the defence of his life. So we're waiting for Dutch race to catch up. But we've got most of the cars in. This is going to be interesting. Very interesting indeed. Right, we've not had the safety car coming in message yet. It can come in late. There we go, it's coming in really late, very, very late indeed. Martin never caught anybody else. Scorenzi looking for make the imminent overtake. Oh, Martin too busy focusing on the defence and ends up hitting the wall, losing a big chunk of weight, and he's now tumbling down the pack. Everybody's getting past him. That was so unfortunate because SFR Martin was in the prime opportunity to get a podium. If he pitted, he would have been on better tyres and he wouldn't have been focusing so much on the defence. But now he's just basically opened the door for Shornicas and Scorenzi to get first and second. And we've got Frenzy and Non-Human battling up for third. So absolutely fantastic view this. We can see how close these two cars really are. This is a view that we want to see when some of the cars are battling. Non-Human looking for the inside line. It's not. That was an early apex really for Non-Human. If he got later apex, he might have actually got a better run into the next corner. Because right now he's got Singh right behind him and Herbo. Now this is not great to have. You got Herbo, who is effectively a good wingman for Sting, because Herbo is not going to be someone who's easily pushed over, especially when you've got drivers such as DXT Anthony and Lewis Speaker behind him, who Herbo will do everything he can to stop them. Singh's got comfort knowing that Hobo's got to do his job and give him some space between himself and the drivers behind. So Singh just knows he just has to get past Hobo, non-human, sorry, to get himself up with Frenzy. Now Frenzy he's coming up to that 0.6 of a second behind Shaunicus. Shaunicus losing so much ground to Scarenzi, who is just opening up that massive gap. Will these soft tyres last again is the question that these drivers are going to be asking. Now Scarenzi could push a big gap and then take care of the tyres, just tyre management all the way to the end. But he needs to make sure he's got a comfort gap to make sure that when he does decide to slow down, he has got that space. Shaunicus has got no room for tyre management, let's call it. He's got to make sure he's pushing and pushing, because Frenzy's going to be there, and so's not human, so's Singh. As Herbert is still holding off Lewis Tabika and DXT Anthony behind him. Scarenzi with a new fastest time of a 1:38.9. That's a very good time indeed. Scarenzi will be taking that point if no one else gets faster. So let's run through the order right now. So we've got Scarenzi in P1, P2 for Shaunicus, P3 Frenzy, P4 Not Human, P5 DXT Singh, P6 DXT Hobo, P7 Lewis Tabika, P9 DXT Anthony, DXT Matty in P9, sorry, P8 for DXT Anthony, P10 for Dutch Face, and SFR Martin in P11 at this moment. So the penalties at the moment are 3-second penalties. These are time multiple warning penalties. So usually track limits, which is quite good really, because most of the races we do have a lot of multiple warning penalties. So we're actually looking at Hobo and Lewis Tabika, who are both on it out, but Hobo's actually quite comfortable knowing that he's just given Lewis Tabika a 3-second penalty by making him push hard. Now you're now watching Frenzy and Shaunicus waiting for the opportunity to make the pass, capitalise on a mistake. Frenzy's not the type of person to make mistakes, but Shaunicus, but that kind of was a mistake by Frenzy. He just overcut that line. And Lewis Tabika's crashed out. Oh. Non-human spun around. So non-humans drop down into P10 at the moment, Lewis Tabika up in P8. So what that's done really is basically non-human dropping out of that. It's given Singh a bit of work to do to catch up with Frenzy, who's still battling out with Shaunicus. And while that's happening, Frenzy up ahead is just making that gap bigger and bigger. So Sting actually needs to get this place back from Frenzy. He needs to get a podium. A non-human has retired in the pits. That's really unfortunate because non-human was having a fantastic battle in the middle. It looked like he could have actually battled his way back into a podium position by the way he was going. And this battle for P2, P3 and P4 here is starting to heat up a bit more. More so for the P3 position. As Singh is just not, it's like knocking on that door, but he's not finding the door opening up for him at the moment. Which means he's going to have to create the space, create the move. Switch of oversteer there. And Frenzy picks up a 3-second time penalty. So, Shaunicus is really struggling on these soft tyres right now. As Singh does make that move past them on the beginning part of the Singapore sling. Right now, Screnzy really needs to think about conserving those tyres. After watching Shaunicus dropping right down, he's got to really think, what can he do to keep those tyres going? Singh's just got to stay within 3 seconds of Frenzy to take P2. So we are coming up to the last few laps. We're on lap 27 of 31, so we've got another 5 laps to go. Lewis Topeka takes the fastest lap with a 1:38.8. Very well done, Lewis Topeka. Very well deserved. And Frenzy, Singapore Sling's claimed another victim. Frenzy loses it on the exit of the Singapore Sling. But I think we've had enough safety cars out already. We don't need another one. So right now it's Scarenzi in P1. And as you can see, those tyres are rough ready. As Singh picks up a time penalty, which gives Shawnicus really basically effectively P2 back again. As you can see, Daddy's tyres are wearing thin. Chances are they're not going to fall off the cliff. But again, Singh is having to open up the gap. Shawnicus' tyres are going to be wearing thin. But he's got a buffer for the driver behind because the driver behind has a penalty as well. So Shawnicus is quite safe with P3 for now. But then you got Hobo right there as well. Singh really needs to start closing down this gap to Scarenzi because Scarenzi's tyres will be screaming at him now. Lewis Speaker picks up a 3 second time penalty. This is where the penalties are going to come in now, guys. This is where like little mistakes are happening. People are picking up penalties, and it's going to change the order at the end. And DXD Anthony is right behind Shawnicus. DXD Anthony could effectively get P3, but penalties will take effect at the end. Back up to Scarenzi has dropped significantly. It is actually quite tense this bit now, because Singh's just brought down that gap to Scarenzi by a significant amount over the last couple of laps. The worst thing to happen to Scarenzi is a puncture. As you can see, there's fade lines are on both front and rear tyres. There's about half the drivers are out. Yeah. And the Singapore Sling has claimed 4 of them. This is getting more and more tense. I'm enjoying this part of the race right now. So DXD Anthony has managed to get past Shawnicus, but DXD Anthony does have that penalty. But then they got Hobo. Can Hobo take P4 from Shawnicus? Shawnicus is struggling on those tyres. Hobo's right behind him. And Singh is right behind Scarenzi with 2 laps to go. You can see the wear from Singh's view. You can actually see the wear. See, Scarenzi actually gave Singh a lot of space there on the outside. So, Singh is on in P1, but he has got to make that 3 second gap. Hobo is in P4, but he needs to make up the gap to DXD Anthony to claim P3. Scarenzi now really struggling on those tyres, losing a significant amount of time to the car in front. But he's still got to be within 3 seconds. This is tight, this is close. Oh wow. The fact that Herbo could have actually got P3 if actually he can still kill it. Let's look. He can. He's got 6 seconds to hold. Oh, Scrivenzi has lost a lot of time to Sting in the last lap. This is unbelievable. This is the final lap now. So we actually could see Singh taking the win, even with a penalty. After the last 2 laps, it's really made a massive difference. Scrivenzi really needs to nurse these tyres back. He can't lose any more time, really. He's already lost 3 seconds to Singh. So he just needs to nurse this car home. Of course, Scrivenzi, nurse it home, man. Nurse it home. Just get yourself back. Don't crash. Don't lose your tyre. Just don't push too hard. So Singh is going to get the win. Unless something drastically happens between now and the end, Singh will have it, and this is a great view, absolutely fantastic. Sean Nicholas picks up a 3-second time penalty, and he's already pretty much down the bottom end of the grid. Those tyres proper screaming at Scrivenzi now. As we are coming up to the last few corners, Singh in the Esplanade, followed by Scrivenzi, followed by DXT Anthony, followed by Herbo. Herbo, man, just get a bit quicker, man. Herbo, you can get podium. There you go. Singh takes P1, absolute well-deserved win there. Scrivenzi takes P2. DXT Anthony, of course, is third, but Herbo will take that. DXT Anthony. Matty takes 5th by 0.013. So close, unfortunate there for DXT Matty. Sean Nicholas takes P6 with SFR Martin in 7th. Lewis Dabika in 8th and possibly the fastest lap. And then Dutch and the Dutch race rounded off in 9th. Yeah, fastest lap will be Lewis Dabika with a 1:38.8. And then Dutch with Dutch race rounding off. Right, so my driver of the day will go to Scrivenzi because he had some fantastic overtakes. What his mistake was going on that second set of soft tyres. So Dutch with Dutch race actually lost out on P8 by only a couple of tenths. That was an absolutely epic race. So we almost an hour long. Well done to our well done to Herbo, who got himself P3. Big salty. See, what a horrid race. I had no pace and made contact with a lot of people. Well, yeah, that was not your best race, but I've got to turn around and say to every driver who finished that race, that was a fantastic race to watch, especially the end. The end got me on my toes. I absolutely enjoyed watching that end. Herbo with a P3, what a race for Herbo. But I'm still sticking with Scrivenzi for my driver of the day just because of some of those overtakes he made. Non-human was up there. Singh's race strategy was actually ideal. Herbo getting P3 is a highlight. It's a champagne moment, really, that, isn't it? Herbo getting P3. So, guys, I've just got to say thanks very much for everybody who's tuned in, everybody who's joined me. Herbo must have a nosebleed. Yeah, he's never been that high, apart from when he's smoking. But yeah, guys, absolutely stellar performance. I really enjoyed commentating that one. We do have 2 races left to go. So if I remember rightly, it's Portugal and then Portugal, then it's Brazil at the end. Brazil being the absolute ideal cherry on the top for this epic season. Guys, but while I'm here, I'm also going to say a big thank you to all the admin who's been helping run this league. It's not been easy with the world getting back from COVID, with everybody's plans changing, things with freedom being given back to people that they're finding like they've got to make compromises and that. So yeah, admin, well done, and especially with Lexi and Hober having a new baby around, the ongoing effort to make sure the league runs smoothly and enjoyably is absolutely stellar. So thanks very much. A big salute to you all. Great comms, guys. See ya. No, thanks very much for the comments. I do appreciate it, guys. So until next time, guys. Good night.